backfield, number 21, Eric Cruz. At midfield, number 7, Jan Ekra. At midfield, number 16, Zach Pfeffer. At midfield, number 8, Jose Baril. At forward, number 18, Jimmy McLaughlin. And at forward, number 17, Yazan Caddick. Head coach of the Harrisburg City Islanders is Bill Beecher.
Keystone Derby this season. Welcome once again to Pittsburgh, PA. I'm Matt Geika. I'll be providing your play-by-play this evening, and I'm joined by Pittsburgh soccer patriarchs Paul Child and Gene Klein. You'll hear from them in just a moment. There were plenty of changes for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds this year. Since the last time they took the pitch, there has been new leadership, including a new head coach in Mark Steffens. We'll get to that, the new players, some of the familiar faces, in just a moment. For right now, we step aside for the national anthem. Outstanding stuff as we get set for the 2015 season opener here in USL for both clubs. Once again, I'm Matt Geika, joined by Paul Child and Gene Klein. And Paul, we'll start with you tonight. New leadership, as I mentioned, in the Riverhounds front office, a new team president in Richard Nightingale, and also, more relevant to this evening's proceedings, a new head coach in Mark Steffens, coming to us from the Charlotte Eagles, 18 years of experience, a USL Hall of Famer. What can we expect from the Riverhounds under his direction this year?
Well, I think it's a great new start. New coach, new president. I think it's what needed to happen from last year. You know, I think it was a real downer season because of the bankruptcy and different things like that. So bringing Mark Steffens in has been a great uplift to the team, I think, and he's brought some new players in here too. I see there's quite a few of the older players on the field tonight, but we've got 7 of them actually, and he's still got a few new guys on the bench that he can go to, and we've lost one of the players to an international call-up. So I just think it's going to be an exciting season. I'm looking forward to a great start, and I think that's what's really important for us, to get off on the right foot.
We'll introduce to you some of those newer names, but some of the players back from last year: Rob Vincent, Kevin Kerr in the midfield, Sterling Flunder, Anthony Arena on the back line. Matt Dahlman out due to injury for right now, but one of the fan favorites for sure. Also Seth Sidabaka, Anthony Vergara, and Miro Chabrillo, a couple of guys, the latter two I mentioned, who came on late in 2014. Gene Klein, what are we going to look for tactically from the Hounds this season under Mark Steffens?
Well, I think you're going to see a very well-organized team. Certainly in the back will be difficult to break down, but mostly what I think we're going to see from a Mark Steffens team, and this has been consistent throughout his career, as Paul and I have had the opportunity to coach against him a number of times. We're going to see a lot of speed out on the flanks. They're going to open the game up. All players are going to be encouraged to run at the defenders, and I think you're going to see a very creative group out there that's not afraid to take some chances and to go forward. He always likes to open up the game a little bit, and you're going to see a lot of guys hugging the touchline to try to open things up and unbalance the I know Mark believes he has the creative players to do that this year.
That will be the approach this season. It should be a fast, exciting brand of soccer here on the South Side. As you see on your screen right now, the Riverhounds are decked out in their brand new home gold jerseys with the white and black trim. That is Lebo Maloto, number 22, kicking it off for 2015 for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Maloto coming in from South Africa, one of the new exciting players for Pittsburgh this season as the Hounds loft it downfield. Miro Chabrillo knocking it down, but he's ruled to have handled that ball. We'll get you the starting lineup right now for the Hounds. You met Chabrillo, the Robert Morris University product, a couple of goals late last season. In the midfield up front, Rob Vincent and Kevin Kerr, usually split out wide. Rob Vincent had 6 goals in the preseason in 5 games. Danny Earls with that great left foot, very accurate on the cross, as the assistant referee's flag is up and play continues on here as the City Islanders try to set something up at the top of the 18-yard box, but it's picked off and cleared out and down the field by the Hounds. On that back line, Anthony Arena, Sterling Flunder, Michael Green, and Fajiro Okioma. And guys, Ryan Thompson in net. Paul and Gene got a chance to meet him at the radio show this past week at Piper's Pub, a Jamaican national. He'll be heading down to play for the Reggae Boys coming up here as the FIFA international window is underway. But Paul, a 30-year-old keeper and someone coming from the North American Soccer League and trying to reinvent himself here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think we met him for the first time on Wednesday night and realized he's a very enthusiastic goalkeeper. He's got a great attitude. I think he brings a lot to the team with his experience as well. So I think he's going to be a great addition to the squad. He's going to get his back defenders. He's going to be talking to them all the time and making sure they're picking up players at the right time. So I look for a lot of things, good things from him.
Harrisburg trying to get it organized. The City Islanders have made the playoffs all 12 years they've been in the various USL Pro leagues. As there's a battle there at the edge of the box, Okioma out-muscling a man for the ball, and the Hounds have it. Gene, a familiar face on this City Islanders club, as you have former Riverhound Neil Schaefer on the back line. Very experienced player in this league, had 13 appearances, or pardon me, 20 appearances last year for this Harrisburg club. What has allowed him to stay in the league as long as he has?
Well, Neil's started with the Riverhounds, of course, another Robert Morris product. He started with the Hounds, played a lot a few years ago for Coach Justin Evans. Then he sought, as we see him win that head ball, he went, had some teams looking out for him, some other teams that were interested, and he ended up with Harrisburg. And I know came in very late in the season last year, had to win a spot, battled to win a spot, but definitely impressed Coach Bill Betcher that they wanted him back, and we see him captaining the squad tonight. So, I mean, Neil is a terrific competitor, very composed on the ball. He's a solid guy all the way around, and certainly I'm sure for the Harrisburg City Islanders, he's a guy that they want in the dressing room also, and they rely on him for things like that. So he's a very, very steady guy, and he'll bring a lot to his game for the City Islanders.
So Schaefer on defense, along with Shane Johnson, another veteran of this City Islanders club. Ken Tribbett and Denny DePrima round out that back line for Harrisburg. Eric Neres de Cruz is in the midfield along with Jan Ekra, who led the team with 6 assists. That was 8th in USL Pro last year. Zach Pfeffer, Jose Barril in the midfield. Barril also a familiar name for USL fans. Jimmy McLaughlin and Zenon Kadic are up front, and Kadic was the most valuable player of the PDL, which is the league below this league for younger players primarily. And so he's a player to watch out for. And in between the sticks for Harrisburg, Nick Noble, who has over 70 appearances in USL Pro action.
Yeah, Noble's one of the top keepers in the league, and a strong veteran. Will certainly keep him in a lot of games throughout the season.
So here are the Isles, and it's Kadic trying to find some room on that sideline. Dealt it back to Ekra. Ekra, the French national. Here's an intercept, though, by the Hounds, and it's Rob Vincent trying to get a step on the defender. He shoots down low, and a save made by Noble. Rebound, Vincent again. Puts it in for the goal!
Excellent there, finish by Vincent, following up, got the rebound, it just fell right for him again, and did a very good, slotted the ball away with his left foot, but he's been hot all pre-season. I mean, this is what you really need from a player, and it's great to see him getting on the board straight away.
What a start. What a start for the Hounds. Vincent sprung on that play up through the midfield, and his first shot was stopped, but sticking with it, actually got a fortunate carom off of Shane Johnson's foot for Harrisburg, and Rob Vincent, who had 6 goals in the preseason, adds one here in the 5th minute of action. For those about to rock, we salute you. Rob Vincent is on the score sheet.
Yeah, Robbie had, 3, I think, Saturday, Matt, against Charleston in their final tune-up, and he has just been, as Paul said, he's been on fire throughout the preseason, and he's a guy that's impressed us throughout the last couple of years. That, you know, he just brings so much to the table with his ability, not only to score goals, but to set a lot of players up too, Paul.
Yeah, with Dolman, remember, a lot of times he switches the ball completely and puts Matt Dolan down the line and gets some crosses in, and I look forward to seeing him. It looks like he's really got some confidence this season right at the beginning, Gino, so he should be a great threat for the Riverhounds every chance he gets.
Here's Chabrillo trying to make something happen. Edge of the box, looked to cross it. That was blocked off.
But so far, Matt and Paul, everything's coming from the midfield pressure,
yeah.
and they're pressing very high, and that caused the turnover, which led to Rob's goal. And you see just there before, which Chabrillo knocked that one in. It was our midfield is really putting a lot of pressure on and making it very difficult for them to penetrate through. So they're doing a great job right now.
Well, with Jose Angulo signing with Fort Lauderdale, the North American Soccer League, in the offseason, the Hounds are going to need that scoring by committee mentality, and they had it in the preseason. Vincent was the catalyst there, and Gene mentioned the hat trick against his alma mater, the University of Charleston, West Virginia, last Saturday here on the south side. Vincent, the native of Liverpool, so an Englishman, gets the first goal. They're back for Cabrillo, who skies it over the crossbar, or Chabrillo, I should say. Miro Chabrillo, Robert Morris University.
Yeah, Matt, I think you're going to see a lot more the Kerr going down the right side. You're going to see Vincent going down this left side, and they're going to be looking to cutting the ball back. I think he was trying to cut the ball back there and didn't quite get it, so it didn't come to Miro as nice as he would have liked it. But good to see this. I mean, we didn't see much until the end of the season last year, you know, when we never put pressure on like this, and this is what's really nice to see, is making the other team backing them up, and backing them up.
And Harrisburg keeping a very high line too, Paul, which is allowing for some spacing behind, and they're trying to squeeze it in the midfield, put the pressure on, and we saw just one interception there led to Rob Vincent's goal, and first here's another one from Kerr to Rob Vincent.
Vincent running free and drops it back to Sterling Flunder, the USL all-time leader in minutes played. Sterling Flunder, his 6th season in Pittsburgh. Vincent into the box, onside. Here's a chip over the top, and no, it's going to be.
He's off.
That was
blown
really
dead
close.
on the offside.
Yeah, the flag was up.
That was really close, though.
Yeah.
They were definitely in line, maybe in half a step, if nothing else. But it's tough to see from this angle.
But a great little run from Kevin Kerr, slicing him from the right side. A nice little diagonal run through, as we see this one again here.
Yeah.
And there he goes.
Yeah, maybe a foot or so offside. Yeah.
Just a touch. This seems like a good time to introduce the referee and the assistant referees for tonight's game. The man in the middle is Charles Murphy. Ross Kleinstuber is on the near side, and he has his flag up right now calling a foul against Pittsburgh. And that was Catherine Nesbitt on the far wing making that offside call against Pittsburgh.
Pretty vicious cleats up here. Vincent diving in there, and it looked pretty bad, actually. I don't know if it was as bad as it looked, but that's why the referee has pulled him aside to let him know anymore, and you're going to get booked. So
it's our first foul of the game, and so Harrisburg has a chance to set things up from just outside the right corner of the 18-yard box. It will be, apparently, Isles have an agreement with the Philadelphia Union, a player development agreement, an affiliation, the union of the MLS. In for one of those players, he'll try to send one toward the 6-yard box, and it's headed out of there by Chabrillo. Nice play.
Yeah, he's back there making sure that keeps it out of there. So quick one.
DePrima looked to feed it for Pfeffer. It's out off of Rob Vincent's foot. Another throw for Harrisburg. And we've touched upon Bill Betcher, the head coach, 12th season. I mentioned never missed the playoffs in USL, as the Hounds able to work that one out in the direction of the midfield stripe. And an errant ball down the near sideline will give Pittsburgh possession.
I think you said Harrisburg 12 in a row. That's really a superb record for any franchise in the City Islanders. Because of Bill's leadership, he's been able to always keep them, and you can never count a team of his out. Last year was a prime example where even though they were hovering about a 500 season the entire year, made it all the way to the USL final before losing to Sacramento. And they're always a team that's in the hunt, and they're always a team that's going to battle you every inch of the way.
Another great ball there.
Here's
from
Vincent going down the right side for Kerr. Chips into the goal! Kevin Kerr, 2-0 Riverhounds, and Pittsburgh could not have imagined a better start than this, and he is master of his domain. Kevin Kerr.
It's 2 goal scorers from preseason too. Yeah. I mean, Kevin's been on the board as well. It's good to see them so enthusiastic, and what a great ball by Vincent again. First time, right? Split between
Vincent,
the
that's
two
what
of
he
them.
does so well, right, Paul? We've seen that way too many times over the years. Just be able to hit that diagonal ball. Great run from Kevin Kerr. And
boy, didn't mess around with it either, and that's where the confidence from preseason helps too.
Yeah, and again, what we said earlier, taking a little bit of risk, they're stepping up a little bit higher, and he got that ball behind them, and you know they're chasing it. And Noble comes flying out there. Questionable decision, huh?
Yeah, really. I don't know why he didn't really need to be honest with you, Gino, because there was still a player chasing back. If he'd have stayed on his goal line, it would have made it a lot difficult for Kerr. But great start for the Hounds right now.
You can't ask for a better start in the home opener than 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. That's for sure.
On this frigid evening, the Hounds are hot. On the south side, this has been quite the offensive display, quite the display of pressure, as you two have discussed over the course of the opening 11 minutes or so. So it was Vincent in the 5th minute, making it 1-0 and raising that lead to 2. Kevin Kerr with a couple of goals in the preseason, and the native of York, England, 5'10", 160.
The English are coming through, Matt. What do you think?
I know.
I love it. Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. I'm glad to see him on the board. This is fantastic for the club, and it needed to happen, and it's good to see.
The Hounds, guys, it's so important for them to get off to a good start this season, too. Just looking at the longer view, last year, 10 games before they got their first victory, 0-6-4. And then in 2013, the first season here at Highmark, 0-5-4, a 9-game winless drought to start the season. So,
but it's nice to open up at home too.
Yes,
and
it is. That's another key.
That's a huge key. I mean, you know, I think I saw what Harrisburg has most of theirs on the road to start, and I looked at it and think, oh, that's our old schedule from the past. And so it's great that we have this beautiful stadium, and that we can open some things up and play when we want and have some home games.
5 out of 6 for Harrisburg, by the way, on the road. 4 out of 5 at home for the Riverhounds.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's what's great. I mean, the last year we were 4 games away from home before we had the first home game, and playing some of the, Orlando, some tough teams down there. And it's good that we get some of these teams coming up this time to come and play in the cold weather instead of us going down there to play in the heat. So
I always felt we should have the Florida teams come up here and play in the cold, as opposed to the Pennsylvania teams going down to Florida and playing the
by the way. That was a 1-1 draw down there, so good result against what was the defending champ. And then at Richmond, a 3-1 loss. And then coming home and a tough 4-3 defeat here in the home opener last year.
Very tough one.
Against the Wilmington Hammerheads. That was one that you thought maybe was tied up late. Here's Eckler shooting for that far post, and the first save of the Riverhounds' career for Ryan Thompson, lunging out, and a very good read on that shot. Able to secure it and get it started for the Hounds.
Yeah, he had it well covered too. Made it look a bit prettier than it needed to be, but hey, that's what's important. That's where the goalkeeper and the players get their confidence and they feel good about it. So
I know the Steel Army liked that one back there.
Exactly.
And they are out. Kudos to them on a night that started about 28 degrees, and it's only going to get colder
Well, I'm sure this Steel Army will find different ways to keep warm over there.
Yeah, the various creative ways, I would suppose. But as the Hounds work it through midfield, here's Stephen Okai sending it near wing, and Stephen Okai, one of 3 players that has experience playing under Mark Steffens. Okai was with Orange County last year, but he played with Charlotte 2 seasons ago.
That's a nice ball out wide, and looking for that cross. Oof.
Yeah, that one's belted by Mike Green well over the crossbar and beyond the end line. And Green, sporting number 8, he's been all over the field for the Hounds in his career.
He certainly has, and I know I really like him at this spot, Paul. I mean, outside back, we always felt his best spot. And here's Kerr again.
Kerr running onto it. Boy, he's inspired this evening to start, like most of the Hounds apparently here. Harrisburg appearing to be a little shell-shocked at the moment, and the Hounds trying to take advantage, maybe adding another one here if they could. That would be ideal.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think they are in a bit of a shock at the moment, but bet you he'll take care of that. I mean, can't get too excited and go crazy here, Gino, and push too far forward. But I'd like to see us, if we could get another goal, would really help.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We mentioned earlier Ryan Thompson, new goalkeeper. We have Mike Green and Sterling Flunder, 2 veterans, but you have a different center back pairing, and it's going to take some time for those 2 to work some things out with Ryan and get the communication down. I mean, of course, Anthony Arena played most of the year last year with Sterling in the midfield, so it's just some different ones with Okiyama, but so far it looks solid.
Oh, very good.
And I've always liked Stephen Akai. I remember him in Charlotte. He's a really good holding midfielder. As we see another great ball down the flank.
Lofted to Kerr, collects to Maloto, trying to get his first touch with those green boots, but he could not control. Maloto, very nifty player. Looking forward to seeing what he can do this season.
Yeah, we have to get him involved a little bit more, you know. But it's still very, very early in the game, and I'd like to see him with a lot of touches on the ball. And
me too. I think he's the kind of player that's going to be playing off of Miro, you know, the big guy up front. But Miro laying the ball off Gino to Vincent. Well, he's not into middle so much as Lobo, but that's what I would foresee him doing, getting on the end of some of those layoffs, you know.
Yes.
So here are the Islanders looking to make something happen. It was Cottage, gave it off to Jimmy McLaughlin. And the cross was knocked down by the Hounds. Maloto trying to come back and help out on the defensive third. And of the USL on Facebook, just look up USL. It's USL, not USL Pro anymore, just a simple USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. You can go to uslsoccer.com in addition to the social media venues. Here is Vincent, and now Sterling Flunder. Former member of the Marshall Thundering Herd, like yours truly. Good to see him sticking it out in USL. A real stalwart defender for the Hounds over the years.
It's good to see anybody stick it out with a nickname like the Thundering Herd, right?
Yeah, right.
I can't disagree with that. As here's Arena, voted the Defensive Player of the Year for the Hounds last year by local media. Good battle there on the near sideline, and Pittsburgh wins the throw. Prima and Arena came together. Arena part of that group of players that was shuttling back and forth early on between the Houston Dynamo, who were affiliated with the Hounds last year. That agreement was only for 1 season, so the Hounds back to being an independent entity. Here's Chibrillo.
Yeah, and of all the players shuffled back, Anthony was the one that was probably with us the most consistently, and
towards the end of the season, they really got it together and made it difficult for the offensive teams.
Bouncing ball, and Ryan Thompson has it. Thompson, who will be playing for the Jamaican national team. He's got a couple of caps to his credit, both fairly recently. Kind of a late bloomer. I don't think it would be inaccurate to call him that, but he will be down facing off against Cuba in a couple of days, so a slight weather change is in his future.
Yeah, I'd like to be going to Jamaica too to play Cuba. But yeah, definitely. It's nice that they allowed him to stay here for this, because they are playing Venezuela, and they let him out of that game, which is pretty rare. But this is a great opportunity here. Vincent with the ball.
Vincent stepping in, trying to shoot it, and it's blocked. Had an opportunity as the Hounds continue to penetrate that Harrisburg formation. But now here are the Islanders perhaps with a counterattack opportunity.
Well, look at Okai right back, tracking him.
And we got numbers
terrifically
behind
back
the ball
there.
too,
Numbers behind the ball, and Okai just tracked him and did what he does so well. I mean, just to plug up that.
Now over to Jan Ekra. Couldn't get that shot away. Another good defensive play by the Hounds. Not a lot coming in the direction of Thompson so far as we're in the 21st minute. I'm Matt Geika and joined by Paul Child and Gene Klein here in the press box at Highmark Stadium. Thank you for joining us on the USL YouTube channel, youtube.com/USL.
Very impressed so far, Paul, with the movement of the Hounds. Again,
broke it up. Very difficult for Harrisburg to even get a rhythm going here. It seems they make 2 or 3 passes, lose possession again there, and we win it back.
Yeah, Harrisburg in that 4-5-1 with 17 Cottage up top, and they're having a hard time finding him.
Yeah.
And it's and I think a lot of it has to do with how we're squeezing in the midfield, and again, then once they get the ball, we're pressing very highly, and then we're going after it.
Exactly.
And then they're getting us, once we win in possession, it's off the ball immediately.
Yep. And we're off.
You just saw some City Islanders fans, some Hardy fans standing along the river side of the field, so we got to tip our cap to them for making the trip and standing out there in the cold. But the Steel Army is up and cheering at the moment, and why not with their Hounds up 2-0. Just an ideal start here, and going up against a team that made a deep run last year in the postseason. Here's a through ball coming on for a quick shot and a score, and the City Islanders have cut this lead in half as it was Zach Pfeffer slicing through to get that shot off, and not much that Ryan Thompson could do, and the crowd is quieted.
I think what you're going to see here, Matt, is Sterling Flunder left them all on side, and everybody else should pushed out, and he left them on side right here.
Right here, yeah.
And that's where they got that opportunity, and that's where they've got to get that communication going early and understanding if somebody's pushing out, we've all got to get out together, and he didn't do that, so they left him on side.
Yes, a helpless feeling for Flunder as he realized that he had kept Pfeffer on.
Yeah, we saw, you know, Arena pulled the others out, and then they played that one through. And
so the 2-goal lead is sliced in half. Pfeffer getting it. I mentioned earlier he was just added to this roster officially today, so on the shuttle squad, if you will, from Philadelphia and the Union of the MLS, one of the newer squads in this nation's top league.
That's one of the things, too, it's difficult to assess with the Harrisburg team because they are going to have new players from the Union coming in and out. The Union have probably effectively felt that system is better for their younger players than having a team in USL. At this moment, anyway. We don't know what will happen down the road. But.
Yeah, some of those MLS teams, Toronto FC, New York Red Bulls, Seattle Sounders have the direct connection with their 2 teams, if you will, their B teams, the teams they own directly.
There's that pressing again.
There's a takeaway. Danny Earls took it to Chabrillo. Now Kerr off for Earls on the right side. The Irishman looking to cross it to the near side post, but a bit too far for Chabrillo, and it bounds over the touch line. But like you guys say, more pressure in that midfield, and Harrisburg unable to elude it in most cases.
Yeah, and the Hounds have got to keep that up. They got to keep putting them under pressure. But it's interesting now. It's good to see, you know, even though Harrisburg have come back with a goal now, it'll be interesting to see how the Hounds adapt to that and absorb it for a little while and go back and put them under pressure. Can they withstand them? Because it's a momentum shift real quick, you know. So
Pfeffer and Okai now hugging it out. Not sure what the deal is between those two. Had my eyes upfield.
Yeah, I think Okai and he collided, and Okai was just trying to say, I really didn't mean that. So
Okai, the native of Ghana, played for, as I mentioned, Orange County.
And sportsmanly, just passing the ball back because it was.
You only see that in this sport, which is one of the aspects I like about soccer, the sportsmanship.
Yep.
As it's Arena. Off the half volley, accurate one to Maloto. Tries to get by, and the foul is whistled here. And a pretty easy call for Charles Murphy.
Yeah, Maloto, great turn there, and I thought he was going to slip away from him, but obviously the player made sure that he wasn't going to get on the end of that ball.
sent it to the near wing, and then Flunder tried to go back to Vincent, but that pass is off a foot of one of the Isles, and the Hounds get the throw in. Moloto trying to step around. Could not get by. Another throw coming up. I almost didn't recognize Danny Earls, guys. He had the long hair until it must have been a couple of days ago. I saw him on Tuesday. As Earls into the box. Now it's Vincent trying to get loose for a shot. Could not. It was blocked. Given right back by Arena, and it's onto the foot of Chabrillo, but offside.
Flag is up.
That had some promise on that quick send-in, the quick reset for Pittsburgh.
Well, I mean, right now the Riverhounds are really making it difficult for the City Islanders to come out of the back, try to play from the midfield, and they're stepping up and winning every ball. And then as soon as we win it, they're playing it forward. They're not just possessing without a purpose.
No, it's good to see. It really is. We didn't see much of that last year, Gino, and here we go again. So you're putting them under pressure, making it difficult. Everybody should be pushing in there.
That's Shane Johnson with the ball.
And out of bounds and win it. What?
Oh, they say off the foot of Kerr.
Okay.
And so a quick restart for Harrisburg. Harrisburg last season finished the regular year at 10-11-7, so just ahead of the Hounds, actually. 37 points, 5 ahead of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh finished in 11th in the then 14-team league. Harrisburg grabbed that last playoff spot, and then they to Sacramento, the defending champions of this league.
The pressure again from Moloto is almost sent Kerr through. Yeah, I mean, the City Islanders, they're letting that go on. We're fighting with the Hounds until the last week of the season, actually, for that final playoff spot. The last 2 weeks, and we're going down to the final couple games.
Ball handled by Moloto.
Then they win it and go to the final.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, that's what you can always expect from Bill Bacher team. They're always going to play. He's going to keep them involved, and they're always going to be a team that's going to be in the hunt for a title.
Contender, yeah, definitely.
Pittsburgh went 0-1-2 against Harrisburg in the Keystone Derby Series last year. This year, there's a cup involved, as we saw down in the pub. The new pub here at Highmark Stadium, which you just have to check out. The bistro renovated and changed over. Here's Cottage, right wing side. A couple of Hounds pick him up. He'll drop it back to DePrima. And all the way across to Shane Johnson.
Yeah, got a lot of yellow shirts back behind the ball too. They're really having a tough time penetrating, and again, giving it away, and the Hounds winning it back.
Moloto to Kerr as the Hounds try to build it up. Played up by Michael Green. Now it's Moloto on that right sideline from the Hounds' perspective. Try to connect through, but that's taken right away by Jan Ekra. Lives in the Ivory Coast, but he plays internationally for France when he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, Ekra, veteran City Islanders, been with the team for a few years, and always one of the key players in their attack and in the midfield for them.
71 games in the USL for Jan Ekra, a player to look out for on the playmaking side as the Hounds belt that one out of bounds. That was Okioma. Okioma, who played last year for the Indy 11 of the North American Soccer League, but experience playing for Mark Steffens. Arena heads this one up. Vincent covering.
Couldn't keep it in, but did a great job there getting away from danger.
Throwing right near the midfield stripe, and the fourth official down there, Corey Urachi, points to where it should be. It's Cottage, and you can tell the Islanders are looking for him. Try to play the ball up through into his area. Moloto might have gotten stepped on there as the ball skidded away right in on Nick Noble, the Islanders keeper. And Moloto's still down. He took a couple of knocks in the preseason, but he always seems to be able to regain his bearings as we reach the 30th minute of action.
Yeah, he seems to. He's still trying to find his touch right now, because during the preseason, I thought Moloto was really, confident, got some great moves, got some real quick feet. He seems to be having a tough time, and maybe the weather as well is a little bit, it's a bit frigid out there, so he's having a tough time getting a feel for it at the moment.
How much does that affect you when it's this cold? Is that a significant change in the touch of the ball, the feel of the ball?
Could be. I mean, it just seems like he's not on the ball like he was during pre-season, and he might get out of it by the second half or later on as he gets going.
Long ball down the left side, as that is McLaughlin trying to control, cannot do it. Dispossessed nicely.
Well done by Green.
Yeah, Michael Green with those orange shoes on got the takeaway. Green on that wing. Islanders, though, get it right back. It's McLaughlin again. He has that one taken away by Danny Earls on the back track.
Matt, you're out there moving, but the wind is very nasty, and that's going to be the one factor that's going to be a problem, both in judging it and dealing with it. Makes it a lot colder than it really is. So, you can really see the wind blowing when you're down there on the flags.
Yeah, really.
Here's Okai with the takeaway to Flunder to Vincent and on through to the midfield area, and Maloto to Vincent. Stepping around a little too far with that pass for Chabrillo to catch up to. Chabrillo, though, wins it over to Maloto. Some space now. He'll chip it down into the corner for Vincent. Rob Vincent, a goal in this game. Tried to cross it. That's off a Harrisburg foot, and Nick Noble will scoop it up without any type of trouble. Vincent and Kerr scored in the 5th and 11th minute respectively. If you're joining us late, that made it a 2-1 score. I know it says 2-2 on your screen, but it is 2-1. The Hounds actually were out to a 2-0 lead, I should say.
That's a foul.
And then Pfeffer came back for Harrisburg in the 22nd minute. And a foul called against Anthony Arena going over the top of Cottage.
Yeah, using Cottage as a stepladder.
That's not legal.
He never even moved.
Cottage is a handful. He's a big lad, and he's, they like to play to his feet, and get, he's certainly portraying that big target player for you.
Yeah.
With the free kick will be Pfeffer, the goal scorer. Serves it into traffic. And Okai got up to head that one, at least to the edge of the 18-yard box. Now a turning attempt by Jose Barril, one of the veterans on this Harrisburg club. Could not make anything happen. Dealt it back to Ekra. Ekra to Barril, and now back out into the middle third of the field. As the Hounds press up, ball comes in on Thompson, and he easily handles it.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty good there, too. They kept in a defensive zone there, Gino, and made it difficult again. Pushed Harrisburg out wide, made them play it back, and then, it broke so far this first half.
Yeah, there goes Maloto chasing a little bit. And we again like to see him get off Chabrillo a little bit more.
Yeah. Get joined up, yeah. Get closer, or like within 10 yards or something.
He seemed very content to just stay behind and stay in the center, whereas we've seen, and maybe that's the role Mark wants him, because we've seen Kerr and Vincent really making a lot of different diagonal runs from the flank.
Yeah.
Flunder heading it in the direction of the center circle, and that's where the man that was just being discussed, Chabrillo, and Maloto. 34th minute. Hounds with a 2-1 advantage here on the opening night at Highmark Stadium. Thank you so much for joining us on USL YouTube action. Here comes Maloto. Held it in nicely. Just inside the sideline. Looking to step around an Islander. Can't do it. And it's played away from him, up off the chest of Cottage. Cottage to McLaughlin. Back to Cottage. No, it's taken away by Mike Green.
That's good to see Greeny going down there. He's going to knock it wide and then hopefully get in the middle for this cross.
Chabrillo looking to set it up. Going back post. And it's too far from Maloto, but Vincent covering up on that overlap run. Vincent to the middle. Shot down low, and a save made by Noble.
Yeah, Noble was leaning a little bit to his left and had to come back to protect his near post.
And after
Robbie
the goals,
almost caught him off a little bit.
He's been scoring all right now. I mean, he's feel real confident. He's taking shots every chance he gets, so you can't blame him, because he's putting them in the back of the net too.
And Vincent will also take this corner kick from the left flag. The right-footed Vincent. First corner of this contest goes to Pittsburgh, bending it toward the 6-yard box, headed clear by Harrisburg, and they boot it out of danger.
Looks like he had Maloto and Chabrillo and Okiyama up for the corner, Paul, and Anthony Arena also. So we're bringing up the two big center backs.
And we know Arena got on a couple last year as well. He can be dangerous in the box, as Marshall was as well.
Yeah, you mentioned Andrew Marshall, big loss for the Hounds with Andrew tearing his ACL last year.
Yeah.
And they were a very formidable center back pairing for the Riverhounds.
Here's the toss into play for Pittsburgh, as it is Arena having it go off his foot and out. You guys were talking about Okiyama up there on the corner. He has been fairly active for a center back, I thought, in the preseason, getting up there. And really no one is exempt from the directive to go forward when you have the opportunity, especially on the corners, of course.
Yeah, he's a big, strong boy too. You know what I mean? He can get wind balls in the air and hopefully get on the end of some and get us a couple of goals this season coming up.
I mean, you mentioned our center backs coming on corners. It'll be interesting. And one thing, Sterling Flunder and we see the
DePrima throwing it toward the spot as it's banged around and finally lifted out, at least to the sideline by Flunder.
Well, we haven't seen Sterling or Michael Green really push into the attack that much. They've been kind of holding back there, and both of them like to go, and certainly both of them have the capability to go forward.
Yeah, sure.
And I know Mark Steffens loves to see his outside backs push into the attack, so I'm sure we'll see that at some particular point.
Ball into touch, Pittsburgh throw, and along those lines, Drew Russell, a second-year pro, brought up to Pittsburgh from the Charlotte Eagles. After the Eagles self-relegated down to the PDL, that's when Mark Steffens went looking for another challenge. And Steffens, who has made the USL playoffs 14 out of 18 years, and he's a USL Hall of Famer. 2 titles, 6 trips to the finals in all. Quite the resume for Mark Steffens.
That's great.
And here's Green trying to get around, and he wins the corner.
So just as we mentioned, there goes Green. So I mean, he probably heard us up.
Yeah,
you know?
it must have been because he's been down there twice, I think.
He
this
has
is
been
his
at second time. Yeah.
Green, who last year ended up with 4 goals, mostly playing upfield.
But you can see again, here's Arenas up there.
And it'll be Danny Earls, as always, from that corner.
Yeah, this is a tough. He's a good swings the ball really in, gets a good bend on it, and here it is.
Drives this one toward the near post, punched clear by Noble, and then flicked skillfully out of danger by Zach Pfeffer.
A little bit too close to the keeper with that one. You usually try and do it between the penalty spot and the.
As Thompson negotiating his way out of some danger.
Thompson doing some wheeling and dealing.
Well then, okay, it works out for the Hounds as Vincent steps up ahead. He has some space. Rob Vincent to Chabrillo near the penalty arc. Chabrillo trying to turn, but he has it stripped away by Ekra stepping back.
So he's showing some fancy Jamaican footwork there. You know?
It scares
I think I
me
saw
a
our
little
goalkeeper coach, Ewan Wallstra, working on that exercise with him at some point during training.
Oh no, he scares me when he does that stuff. I saw him a couple of times in the preseason doing a back heel, and I was thinking, boy, if I was a centre forward and I see him do that one time, I'll make him do it the next time and know he's going to back heel it and jump on it, because he really doesn't have a left foot either.
There's your scouting report, as Neil Schaefer was in deep, all the way down on the touchline, the old Riverhound. And what's the call here? There's a dispute between the one of the City Islanders.
A lot of hand movement. He must be an Italian referee. I think. No.
Zach Pfeffer was the one disputing the call, and he still is. And that is Charles Murphy.
It's a goal kick. I don't know what the.
Yeah, they are just giving a routine goal kick to the Hounds here. So I believe they're saying the ball went out over the end line and then was brought back into play by Schaefer. A reminder, in just a few minutes at the half, we will have our own Gene Klein down on the frigid sideline talking to Mark Steffens, the Hounds' new head coach.
Yeah, I'm glad he's going down there.
Better him than us, right? As we hide out in the booth. Meanwhile, Harrisburg on the attack. City Islanders down a goal. They were down 2 very early on. A bit of a tough spot for the visitors this evening. First match of the season. Here's to head it to his keeper, Nick Noble, rather.
Yeah, there's a good wind blowing there, Matt, because you could see that ball got stuck. I thought he was going to easily go to the goalkeeper, but he got held up and dropped back about 10 yards from the penalty box. So you got to chase those, because you're always going to have that chance of catching it, you know.
Once in a while you'll be rewarded on a play like that, and Chabrillo nearly was. Here's a foul against Pittsburgh's Danny Earls, who has a protest.
Anything deliberate in that. He was just trying to win the ball, and you know, the player's leg got in the way.
Just the third foul against Pittsburgh, 4th overall in this game. That's Jose Barril writhing about on the pitch. He's the Spanish native, previously part of the Real Madrid, in fact, system.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but you know, these guys go down, you know, pretty easy to get a hit, and they try and get a foul if they don't think they can get anywhere. And he must have got caught pretty good, I think, on the top of his ankle. But
yeah, always tough to tell. But yeah, he is taking his time to get back up. Looks to be favoring one of his 2 feet.
If he gets the ball, though, watch him now. He'll be flying.
That adrenaline kicks right back in. It's a good painkiller. Chip play off the restart, and look out, flick just beyond the reach of Pfeffer and into the waiting arms of Ryan Thompson, who slugs that one with the right foot about waist height, and that clangs off the body of Shane Johnson of Harrisburg.
I'd like to see us put a bit more pressure on now, Matt, especially towards the end here. Still 3 minutes, 4 minutes, depending on the extra time. But it's a great time if you can just get put another one in the back of the net. Sends the other team in just, you know, wondering what's going on, and
would be a real demoralizer.
Yeah,
in this
really
case,
help.
if you can get one. And for the Islanders, of course, they're trying to draw even and erase what happened in the opening 11 minutes. For now, though, the Hounds are still on top, as here's the takeaway. And Chabrillo for Moloto lofts it over the head of Danny Earls, right back to Mike Green. Pops it up into the atmosphere, off the nod of Chabrillo, but right back to the aisles.
Putting some good pressure on here again. We've got to keep it going. There it is, and he lucked out there and got the ball to his player.
Pfeffer somehow kept that one in play.
Yeah, I don't think the ball was all the way over the line, too. You know, if it's still on the line, it still is in. So,
unlike most sports, yes, soccer, the line is in. In most other games like this, it is out. Here's Pfeffer trying to shoot one, and it's blocked by Okioma, helping out his keeper. And now a drive by McLaughlin from just outside the penalty arc, and that one's off a Hound. I believe that was either Arena or Flinder back there who got in the way of that one. So a couple of key blocks.
Yeah, Harrisburg doing, you know, trying to put some pressure on here in the last closing 2 minutes, and
look out.
Making it difficult.
Man on side, it's Cottage stepping up, and Thompson comes out to take the ball right off his foot. Oh my, Cottage got a break as that ball deflected off a Riverhound player, and he was running in the clear, but
boy,
some good back pressure by Okioma, I think, forced him wide.
And just, hey, this is my ball, and taking it away from him, and a referee can't really call anything as long as you win the ball.
So some hairy moments here for the Hounds late in this first half. They want to be pushing the other way.
Yeah, and you can see they're taking the time with the throw-ins and a little bit now trying to get through this first half, and understandable, and just don't want to make any silly mistakes.
Throw in accurate one by Flinder onto the head of Chabrillo. Almost runs into Moloto. In fact, he did. And the ball comes loose to Harrisburg and Jose Barril. Barril switching it up. He'll try the far side for Neil Schaefer. The native of Aliquippa, PA, hands that one off. As it is McLaughlin off for Ekra. And the Islanders maybe looking for one last opportunity here.
That's a nice one, too. They played
quick
there.
Chip play. Barril trying to cross it, and it's cleared away by Anthony Arena. Hounds trying to go deep down that right sideline for Chabrillo. No sail. And the Islanders have it as we tick close to 45 minutes elapsed in this one. And as Paul just said, we will wait to find out how much stoppage time will be added on. We are exactly at 45 minutes. Handball called.
2 minutes, it looks like, Matt, as I can see.
Yes, we do have the fourth official, unlike in the preseason when we all had to guess how much time was left. Only the players knew. The fourth official, Corey Irachi, has 2 minutes held over his head.
Yeah, I'm lucky I can see the table here. Still 2 minutes, and like to see it down in this end right now. And the Hounds getting a shot off here and finishing up this half.
Kevin Kerr couldn't handle that one, trying to juggle it to himself. Now Kerr runs in, good pressure, and ball booted out off a Hound last. Apparently Kerr got just the tick of the ball before it careened into the stands on the near side. So Harrisburg tries that far wing, and McLaughlin overran it, taken away by Green. Mike Green on that wing-back position has done well on that side.
Yeah, he did very well there. Stole the ball away from the pursuing left winger, and it's going back and forth a little bit here. But I think the Hounds should calm it down and don't be in such a rush to go forward. They don't really need to. But here's an opportunity. Ball. Oh.
Kevin Kerr, perhaps a chance, doubles back to Meloto, ball at his feet, over for Okai, the shot, and he just missed the top right corner. Oh my, Okai, he had designs on that one.
Yeah, that
into the
looked,
upper 90, but just missing.
Yeah, that looked really, I mean, it looked close from here. Obviously we can't see, we're not in line with it, but boy, yeah, that looked
Didn't miss
really
by much.
Close. No.
Maybe a foot outside that right post. So we're ticking down to the end of this opening half of play. It's been entertaining. There have been chances for both sides.
Yep, and Harrisburg, as we said, they just don't go away, you know, and that's the end of the first half. And both teams, I'm sure, Mark is going to be pretty happy with the score going in at the halftime, but Harrisburg keep coming back.
Gene Klein is down on the field, and he has Riverhounds coach Mark Steffens for a sideline interview. Let's send it down to Gene.
Coach Mark Steffens, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Mark, off to a great start. What was your take on the first half?
Yeah, we played about 20 minutes that half. After the first 20 minutes, we sat in a little too much, didn't press, and I don't think we possessed very well. So I'll take the 2-1 lead at half, but not a great half for us, I don't think.
So what adjustments, if any, you're looking for in the second half? Do you get them pressing more? Because that was very effective when you did it.
We have to press, and we have to press the whole half, and we have to possess.
Best of luck, Coach. See ya. Thank you.
Thank you to Gene Klein down on the field. Paul, do you agree with Mark Steffens? He didn't seem too impressed after the opening 20.
No, and I think he's really got to hit it on the head. You saw where we were putting pressure on, got those 2 early goals, and we're still putting that pressure on. And I think that's what he wants to see continuously, because if we can do that, you know, we're just going to gain momentum and score another goal, and we kind of eased off a little bit. I don't think Harrisburg had too many chances, to be honest with you, but we kind of let them back into the game, into feeling comfortable, and let them get more possession in the last 35 minutes and towards the end of the game there.
All about possession in the sport of soccer, but especially the way the Hounds want to play and keep that constant pressure on. Good stuff early on, but as you heard Coach Steffens, they're going to try to make it I'm Matt Geica. We'll be back for the second half of action. Pittsburgh 2, Harrisburg 1 in the first edition of 4 in the Keystone Derby this season. Stay with us here on the USL channel on YouTube.
Or visit Cochran.com. All USL
opportunity to learn from, say, Ryan House, make an actual team goalie, read the Champions League experience, to work with them in a close, tight setting, to learn from their technical abilities. They will be given the opportunity to work hand in hand with the professional staff. The benefits to the club and to the potential school is that they're going to be receiving a better goalkeeper back at the end of this training. We are going to be able to offer them supplemental training to what they already offer the goalkeeper. And they're going to come back a much better goalkeeper than when they came into the club. So what we'll be offering will be a 7-week goalkeeper training session that we hold on Wednesday nights here at Highmark Stadium. And the age groups we're going to be offering this to are from the 9-10-year-old bracket right up until seniors in high school.
A winning season all begins with a great plan. That's why number 1 Cochran has changed everything about how cars are bought and sold, starting with how they're priced. Catch number 1 Cochran spring for a new car event and get clearly amazing offers on all models. Plus, find out how you can get an extra $1,000 for your trade. Going on now at all number 1 Cochran locations. Monroeville. Or visit Cochran.com.
I thought 10 seconds there.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. 2-1 Riverhounds over the City Islanders, Harrisburg City Islanders, that is, from Highmark Stadium. Matt Geica with Gene Klein and Paul Child on the USL YouTube channel with you tonight. Frigid evening. The Riverhounds, though, red hot to start with a pair of goals in the opening 11 minutes. Rob Vincent in the 5th minute, Kevin Kerr from Vincent in the 11th. That made it 2-0. But then Zach Pfeffer for Harrisburg answered back in the 22nd minute off a feed from Jimmy McLaughlin. And kind of a topsy-turvy first half in some ways. Paul, it was all Riverhounds early on, and then things started to shift more toward the Pittsburgh side of the field, so something that they'll have to correct here in the second half.
Yeah, and as Mark said at halftime when he was speaking with Gene, you know, he thought they were pressing, doing really well for the first 20 minutes. I thought he was a little bit longer than that, but, you know, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, Harrisburg started to get back into it, and they made it a little bit difficult for the Hounds. And I think, yeah, obviously Mark wants them to come out this half and put pressure on continuously for the 45 minutes.
Gene, looking at it from the opposing point of view, what kind of changes do you think Bill Betcher might instigate here in this second half? What do you think they could possibly do, or if anything, if maybe they just like what they saw late in that first half.
Well, I think they're going to want to play a little bit quicker through the midfield. They try to possess a little bit slower, and that played into our hands when we were pressing. I also think they're going to want to make sure that they had too many balls behind. The Riverhounds were able to penetrate them quite easily, and some of that, their line was a little bit high. I just wonder if Bill will keep it a little bit lower this time, or at the very least will drop off once the Riverhounds have possession, and try to keep some stuff in front of them, and then maybe catch us on a counter to get back in the game and try to get the tying goal. But for sure, it's anyone's game at this particular point, and it'll be interesting if the Hounds can reestablish what they had going the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
A lot to like in that opening 20, as Coach Steffens told us at halftime. Some recent history between these two clubs that we didn't have a chance to get to in the first half. Harrisburg has a 5-2-3 edge, so 5 wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws since these two teams have been in USL Pro, and now, of course, just called USL, rebranded this year, and an expanded league. We also didn't talk about that, guys. Just 14 teams last season, and now out to 24. So 10 teams added on the net, and so it'll be 6 teams from each of the 2 conferences going to the playoffs this year, with the top 2 teams getting by. So essentially it's almost like 2 separate leagues, because the Riverhounds aren't going to play any Western Conference teams.
You know, flying wise and this kind of thing, and hopefully that's where the league can become stronger and stronger, and having 12 teams in each division is really nice to have, and it's good to see. It just shows you how the game is growing.
And I know that the league has been pushing that for a number of years and hoping to get that West Coast division, so it's something they've been working on, and it's great to see it become a reality this year.
Go to uslsoccer.com for more information on the revamped USL, United Soccer Leagues. As we are underway in the second half, and it's the Riverhounds moving from left to right on your computer screen, your tablet, your mobile, however you are accessing this evening's broadcast. We thank you. Matt with Paul and Gene, all up here in the relative warmth of the press box. Not saying it's balmy up here, but it's better than on the sideline.
That's for sure.
Which Gene can attest to.
It was pretty, what did he say, biting
Brisk.
cold, down there?
That's a good description.
The wind was going right through you.
I would say. So here's the throw by Okai to the end line, and it's off the boot of one of the Hounds there in the far corner. So goal kick for Harrisburg.
And
looks like we have some substitutions.
Some change. Vinny Dantas looks like he's on top for Trebrio, Matt,
and that was him who had that ball go off his foot. So yes, Dantas, the Brazilian, runs up ahead. He's got an opportunity. It's going to be flagged on the offside as Kerr finishes just for good measure after the whistle, and I'm not sure if the Harrisburg keeper Nick Noble likes that too much, but nonetheless, Dantas in.
And Dantas just joining the team and just coming from indoor soccer, and you can see, I think you're going to start seeing, he's an offensive player, but he's come from indoor to outdoor, and he's probably got to get used to this timing his runs for the offside position, like he was caught there by a yard or so, and now you see him, he's just coming, getting back, but big change up from indoor soccer to outdoor soccer.
Yeah, and a big change, the comfort of indoors to 25-degree weather and probably a wind chill of about 0. So, in addition, Paul, we certainly have to worry about the fitness level.
Yeah, exactly. And, he's used to running distances of 10 yards, 20 yards. Here he's running 40, 30 yards, and big difference. So
Thompson picks up on the redirect after the restart. Some first half stats for you. 2 corners to none in favor of Pittsburgh. Shots were 6-2, Riverhounds on top, so with the advantage in both of those important categories. Fouls 5-3. Pittsburgh had more in the first half, and they just added one more on that last Harrisburg free kick, as here comes Thompson again to calm things down.
Yeah, they're knocking these long balls, and the wind's blowing from left to right, so the balls were getting held up. So it's judging what's coming at you. Like Thompson there, kind of like thought it was going to come quicker, and then it kind of slowed down for him. So they're going to be careful here. That's how I think we caught Harrisburg in the first half.
The other thing we're seeing is Maloto. It looks like he's gone onto the right flank, and Kevin Kerr has pushed into the middle, and I wonder if what we had talked about earlier, Paul, that you know, a little disappointed with what Milotto was involved with the play, how many touches he was getting, and really his movement off the ball too. And maybe they feel that Kevin Kerr is explosive off the ball, can do something a little bit more. It looks like they're switching back again though also.
Yeah, Milotto too might get some more space.
Yeah, it looks like they're switching back. That might have been temporary, but we'll see if they do it again.
So some tactical adjustments for Mark Steffens of the Riverhounds. Pretty routine here, especially after what you heard him say. He wanted to maybe tinker with some things. He's got Dantas in there. That is the only substitution, I believe, on the field for the Hounds, as the ball out kick for a corner. Yes, so an opportunity for Pittsburgh to add on perhaps.
Yeah.
And now you look to Danny Earls to send the in-swinger on the corner.
Yeah,
very dangerous on these serves too, Paul, with Danny Earls, man. He can really whip him in. And,
he's got the wind with him too. I mean,
yeah, the wind's blowing that way towards the Steel Army. So,
6 assists last year for Danny Earls. That was tied for 8th in the league. Earls serving it, header down, and it's missed on the opportunity by Dantas. So he had his first USL goal all lined up, but he missed it just outside the right post. The Brazilian Dantas coming to Pittsburgh from the Baltimore Blast Indoor Soccer. Played last year outdoors for the Ottawa Fury of the North American Soccer League.
Yeah, that's neat to see him getting on the end of that. It's he wasn't hesitating. He was he definitely got a nose for the goal.
Paul, back in your days, you made that transition a number of times from indoor to outdoor. How difficult is that?
It is hard, Gino. I mean, you come, especially just coming in and not getting any time to play with the players you're playing with, you know, so it's good. It's neat to see how this guy is doing really well, and I'm sure he's going to be very good on the ball. As you can see, he's difficult to get off the ball, and I think it's a goal kick now, but it's going to take a week or two to get really fitness-wise and you know, get to judge the distances and keeping yourself on side as well, because you know, as indoor, there's really no offside.
Yeah, in years past, I know when we've had those guys making that transition, it really has taken them a good 2 weeks to get up to full mass fitness, and you know, so I'm sure Mark, but so we really didn't expect them to go the whole half, huh? I mean, in 45 minutes.
I thought he'd come on for 20 minutes.
That's what
maybe
I thought, maybe 20 minutes or whatever, but they made the change to try to impact the game a little bit more with him up front. You can see what a handful he is up front, big and strong, and very difficult to knock off the ball.
You figure an indoor player of his pedigree will be good in close quarters, so that's some place he can excel, perhaps, as it's Vincent. Nice little play on the turn, off for Flunder. The backup into the play. On the attack, Flunder trying to dance free just inside the far sideline with the Pittsburgh skyline glistening behind him. Ball just barely held in by Harrisburg, and so the Islanders can try to make something happen, sliding in to keep it alive as Arena. And here's Kerr now. Kerr, a goal scorer in this game. Lines one up and shoots and scores! Kevin Kerr drives it in from 35 yards out, at least his second goal of this game. And I'm going to break my rusty cage and run. And where is Kevin Kerr? He's down there in the corner at the flag celebrating with his teammates. What a blast, guys. And it all started with Anthony Arena winning that ball just outside the midfield area.
This is a heck of a strike here from 25. He just blasted that one.
Yeah, he caught hold of that really well. And like you said, Arena made it happen by, you know, battling, winning that ball coming free, going to Kerr.
But Kurt's only, you know, maybe 25 out. And look at Harrisburg here in the replay. No one closes him down. They just they let him take actually 2 preparation touches before he unleashed it. And a heck of a strike, no doubt about it. But
and that's what we were talking about earlier. You know, Vincent and Rob Vincent does the same kind of thing. They can both hit the ball really well, and they got some confidence, which is really nice to see them going into this game. And I think you're going to see a lot of different players scoring goals on this team right now.
But so far, it's 2 Riverhound veteran players,
exactly.
and all the changes with Kevin and twice on the board, and Rob Vincent with a goal and an assist. So brilliant stuff for them.
Kevin Kerr, one of the quote-unquote old men of this Riverhounds team, 26 years old. There are just 6 players over the age of 25 on this roster, and he's one of them. He's got a couple of goals. Here's a foul called as the ball was taken away. The Islanders thought they could get away with one as Okiyama went down to the pitch, but
just got it bowled over there, actually pushed in the back. It's got to be obviously a foul, you know, but it was needed because there was 3 Harrisburg players waiting to steal that ball away from him too.
But once again, the Hounds off to a great start here. I mean, the first in the last 15, 20 minutes of the first half, they certainly came out flying, and that's nice to see.
No, and that's exactly what Mark wanted him to do, like you were talking about, Gino, on the sideline at halftime. And this is where it's important that they keep it up and keep that momentum going and that pressure on Harrisburg the whole 45 minutes.
the Hounds, just like in the first half, capitalizing on an opportunity. And, of course, in the first half, it was a pair of goals. Here's Meloto trying to get free, and referee says play on. As it is Barril, Jose Barril, the Spaniard, looking to pop that one up the right wing side, but it's taken away by the Hounds.
Brio was a player last year. I heard it several times during the season. I mean, he thus far has not had his normal impact on the game, and that's a credit to how the Hounds are defending him.
And first game of the season for him too, Gino. You know, it's always kind of like sometimes they're doing everything too quick and, you know, not calming it down. And, you know, as he gets into the season, the first 2 or 3 games, it kind of settles down a little bit, and people start to, you know what the strengths are and not the weaknesses are.
You know, and I'm sure also it's, as we see,
here's McLaughlin on the left wing, cutting to the middle, and a double redirection there, and the Hounds able to track that one down. It's Michael Green.
Yeah, that was heading. That could have been on frame. Yeah. He opened his hips up very well and was trying to go to that far post, but
nice
fortunately got a piece of it.
Yeah, Meloto to Okai, just barely, ball trickling into touch. I'd like to take this opportunity to say that Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information, and Nike providing the Hounds uniforms this year. If you like what you see, tip your cap to Nike there. 3 kits for the Hounds. It was unveiled recently here at the stadium that they would have 3. This is going to be the traditional home uniform, predominantly gold.
Oh, well done from Dantas.
There's a nice little flick on
wide open in
from
the middle.
Dantas to Kerr to the middle for Dantas again, and he chips it on net, and a little disjointed on that try, but still the Hounds get an opportunity from just inside the 18-yard.
And he had a great opportunity. Vincent was coming up on the left side, was wide open. I thought he was just going to lay the ball in front of him to take a shot, but he's come from indoor soccer, and they you know, he's used to hitting any chance you get, you take a shot, and I think that's where that came into play.
Yeah, Robbie was in free if he could play that too, if he saw him. But
just that extra touch was lacking.
Yeah, but a great job to create this play out here with a little spin, and then playing Kevin down the flank. So doing very good.
What I got impressed is as well, Gino, after he made the pass, he took off to the. I mean, he was heading to the middle of the box, looking to get on the end of a return pass or get a shot off like he did, but not quite what he wanted on it.
There were options there for Pittsburgh, and still got the shot on target. Not a particularly dangerous one, but as was mentioned here, it was all in the creation that is encouraging. Now laid back for Thompson, and he belts it up the middle of the field. Riverhounds with the wind in this second half, so something to keep an eye on. I believe it has calmed a bit, I think, or maybe quartering toward the near sideline.
Yeah, I can't see the flags blowing us.
Well, I'm looking at our the corner here by the the bleachers, and it's straight out.
Looking at the national flag, that's blowing pretty good.
Now it is, yes. So can they further take advantage of it? As it's
Kevin Kerr.
Kerr having a whale of a game on the shores of Monongahela tonight. It seems like every time he touches the ball, the Hounds create some kind of opportunity. As it ball rolls out, and it will go over to Harrisburg in front of the big scoreboard. Back there, and you may have seen, if you're watching, some trains go by. That's all part of the fun at Highmark Stadium.
Well, it adds to the aura of the game, you know.
Indeed. Something you don't see everywhere, and it's been incorporated into this stadium very well. by the designers, so kudos to them. That's something unique. As the Islanders look to regroup, and it is Nick Noble. I mentioned veteran keeper, almost passing that one into some trouble as it was Vincent stepping up, and now it's Arena laying it off, and Arena now lets this return pass go all the way back in on Thompson.
Clears it.
He'll try this near side, and picked up.
Danny Earls did well there to get that ball off even. He's doing very well, doing a good defensive role there.
Arena doesn't like it, but they're going to...
I should mention that gives us the opportunity. Danny Earls had a yellow card at the 40th minute. We did not mention that, didn't catch it. It was a quick draw by referee Charles Murphy. No card here, but the foul is given. And it'll be Harrisburg, as it has usually been tonight for them. Zach Pfeffer.
He's got all the big guys up in the box.
Pfeffer playing it through, and it just hops by the lunging Zenon Kadic. We told you in the first half he was the MVP of the USL PDL League last year. Riverhounds have their own team in that league, I should say. And Kadic getting the call tonight. He had a good camp, according to the USL Soccer website, uslsoccer.com, with the Philadelphia Union, impressing there. So no surprise to see him bumping up a level this year. Ball up for grabs at the center circle, and taken on by Jose Barril to Ekra. Ekra lofting it into the box. McLaughlin can't find it. Play back for Ekra. Look out. He shoots that one off the outside of his right foot, and it skids away well offline, but a good opportunity for Harrisburg.
Yeah, the wind factor again there, with the ball was chipped over, and it just kind of, they thought it was going to go further, and it came back and swirled back to the Harrisburg player. Made it difficult for the defender to judge.
One thing we're seeing too from Harrisburg here in this first 15 minutes of the second half, I mean, Jimmy McLaughlin, we saw that the latter part of this first half also is becoming increased, as well as Pfeffer playing off of Kadic. So they're starting to commit a few more players. Barril is being a little bit more active, so really pushing those guys up to more like a traditional 4-3-3 than opposed to a 4-5-1 that it sort of looked like through most of the first half.
Sure. And they need to. Obviously, they're down 2 goals. They're going to, they're going to get more and more up in the offensive end if they can and get more players.
Yeah, because you really see McLaughlin and Jose Barril really pushing forward as wingers off of Kadic. And then Pfeffer right underneath them.
McLaughlin playing that, and here is Pfeffer, the man you're talking about, Gene Pfeffer, looking to feed it toward the middle, and Arena got in the way of that, and a good sliding tackle to win the ball. No, it's going to be called a foul. Maybe cleats up on that. I'm trying to figure out what the call will be. It's a yellow card, in fact.
That's a bad call.
To Arena.
Second yellow issue to the Hounds this evening.
That is a poor call.
Comes in the 62nd minute with a 3-1 Pittsburgh lead.
Anthony Arena getting a little bit upset as we see Danny Earls trying to sort it out with the referee.
It's a big congregation right now around the man dressed in red. Once again, Charles Murphy, the man in charge.
We'll see Pfeffer and Ekra. I know Ekra is always very dangerous on these. I haven't seen Pfeffer take them, but Ekra has always been a guy that's on the ball for any restart situations, and he can be pretty accurate from any distance, but it looks like he's going to leave this one to Pfeffer.
Pfeffer ready to put that right foot into it, just outside the... And so the Islanders will switch it over to the right side. Played in, McLaughlin trying to back heel it as the service was behind him. Now Okai athletically pops that one out of trouble.
They still got a lot of players up front too. They got some bodies, some blue shirts.
Well, they do. They're really, as we see Pfeffer flying around, it's really just holding Cruz 21 and Ekra in front of the back four. And like I said, so you really have Pfeffer underneath Kadic with McLaughlin with Burrell out wide, and so they're starting to press us in the back a lot and trying to disrupt things as we see a substitution coming on here Pettis for Harrisburg.
Yeah, it'll be Garrett Pettis coming into the contest from Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. The Lipscomb University product comes into the game for Zenon Kadic. So Kadic out and Garrett Pettis in, 6 foot forward. 25 years old. Pettis is actually the leading returning goal scorer for this Harrisburg club. He had 3 last year to go with 2 assists. 27 appearances, only 8 were starts, so he's used to coming on in this substitution role for head coach Bill Betcher of the Islanders. And now it's Ekra in the midfield, laying it off to McLaughlin, Harrisburg's number 18. McLaughlin trying to get around the outside. That cross is blocked by Green and now picked up by Okai and laid off nicely onto the foot of Dantas, who changes pace. Dantas cutting back. Pittsburgh's number 28. Ball under Eric Neris de Cruz, and it does roll out into the possession of the Hounds. They're not going to get it, but the Hounds will have possession.
Yeah, Dantas did well there because he was all on his own with 4 players around him, and he kept possession, waiting for some support, and really didn't have much choice but to try and get win the ball with a throw-in.
Green the toss. It clangs off the body of Dantas, and now free to Harrisburg for the Islanders to pick up, but it's given away by Jose Barril. And here's Flunder off balance, popping that one down the left sideline, and picked up in stride there by the Hounds. It's Kerr to Moloto.
Nice
back into the middle for Kerr. The chip over the top of the crossbar.
Great touch from Moloto there.
Yes, sure. That's what we need to see from Moloto. You know, that little touch, that little flick throughs and combinations. That came up really nicely.
And I was just about to say that, Paul. I mean, we got to love some of the combinations we've seen up in some tight spaces from the Hounds. You know, especially this early on in the season.
Yeah, really, because they weren't getting those combinations last season. Towards the end, a little bit more, but
Kerr that close to the hat trick in the opening game.
There's a Kai again breaking up another play.
Kevin Kerr had 48 tonight. Moloto stumbled a bit but regained his footing and now drops it back to Okai. Okai to Moloto, just inside the sideline. Looking for Dantas, a little too far for him, and it'll be Shane Johnson playing it on back for the Harrisburg keeper Nick Noble. Noble, native of Charleston, West Virginia, played in Sweden previous to this. Here comes McLaughlin, though, on the run, and Thompson barreling out, down onto the pitch to stop it, and now he gets up and drills it out because he appears to be injured.
Well, he risked his body there, definitely. And again, this is where the wind factor came in. The ball, held up.
Yeah.
And the keeper was going to come for it, and then he realized it wasn't going to get to him and kind of hesitated. And that's where this collision came in. But he risked his, as you'll see here.
Yeah, let's look at that replay. McLaughlin battling with Green, and Green, I think, caused the injury.
Thompson was way off his line, so he had no choice but to get down there and win the ball. But
one of those tough situations for a keeper, and the issue as he was working the joint around.
Have you visited USLsoccer.com?
He's a strong boy. He'll be okay.
Substitution into the game for Pittsburgh is Willie Hunt, just signed this week. The 27-year-old played for Tampa Bay of the NASL last year, 12 appearances for them with a goal to his credit. Hunt with all the Hounds injured on the back line. Sterling Flunder actually was a questionable decision coming into this game. Drew Russell, the newcomer from Charlotte, is out with a knee issue. Matt Dahlman, hip problem for him. So the Hounds dipping into the free agent pool, if you will, and picking up Willie Hunt, in addition to Jeremy Raley, who is not dressed tonight. But so Hunt, number 19, into the contest. And we have other substitutions.
City Islanders are making a few.
21 just came off. Cruz, Eric
Neresta Cruz is off. Cardell Benbow, the Jamaican national, is into the game. And I believe that is all for Harrisburg. They have a couple of newcomers into the action in this half, Pettis and now Benbow.
Yeah, I think he came on for Cruz, Matt.
So
But it
presumably
looks like
in the
they're going to
midfield.
drop Burrell back into the midfield, and Benbow will go out wide into Burrell's spot.
Yeah.
Here's Pettis trying to head it on. Long hair flapping in the breeze. He does not get there. And here's Willie Hunt with his first touch on the ball as a Riverhound. Hunt giving it to Vincent. All the way over on that far sideline. Maloto back to Hunt, who steps to the ball quickly. Earls to Vincent.
Nice
one touch back to Earls. Tried to maybe shoot or cross, one of the two, but it was off an Islander and out into touch. Another corner kick for Pittsburgh, this time from that left flag.
Some nice combinations there, Gene, from Vincent and Earls and, you know, Kerr, the guys that have they're causing some problems, and really nice to see when everybody else gets into the picture. It could be really a good combinations.
70th minute, they go short off the corner. Maloto trying to step out of the side and could not make anything happen as it was belted away from him and into touch.
Yeah, I think, Paul, it is interesting that you're seeing the Vincents and the Kerrs and the Danny Earls and those guys who are used to each other, and they're combining quite well.
Yeah.
And for this early in the season, it's
As Hunt's throw was headed away. Ball still free, and well, in the 70th minute now, gentlemen, I think one more might do it for Pittsburgh, and perhaps that's what they're thinking right now.
That'd be nice, but you know, this is where Harrisburg, they know they're down now. They've got to really go forward and create some chances, and as long as
Look out here as Okiyama has to track down a bit of an errant pass, but he does nicely to play it away from danger, and he draws the foul too.
Yeah, it does very, very well there, Matt. He stayed with the runner, then was able to just take a good touch out of pressure and turn that ball upfield before he was fouled.
I'm sure Mark wants him too as well. You know, don't take any silly chances here. Just you know, keep possession when you can. If you're being put under pressure, get rid of it. Send it up the other end. Get it out of danger.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you're in the approaching here the 72nd minute, and it's freezing cold. You're up 2 goals. Manage the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's try to control things. And you know, you can see the back four are trying to stay tight with Akai in front of them. He's not going anywhere either. He's just trying to and let the other guys try to make some plays and maybe get that fourth one and put it out of reach.
Willie Hunt dispossessed by the tenacious work of Cardell Benbow just into the game, but then
steal.
Taken right away. And back comes
foul
Maloto.
there.
He's shoved from behind, and referee says continue on, gentlemen.
This is where the linesman should really come
My goodness,
into
that is hard to believe, is it not? As it looked like Maloto took a pop from the backside.
Yeah, I mean, if he's calling shoulder to shoulder, that shoulder was a little bit behind his shoulder blade, but
right in the middle of his back, I think.
Yeah.
And an Islander is down on the sideline.
Oh, that's a push and everything. Yeah, that is no.
I think he even caught his foot as well.
Yeah, and his hands were extended. So
tough to see that one go by the boards without a call. And now Jan Ekra is being tended to.
That's where the referee needs to have some assistance from the linesman. He can see that probably better than he could for some reason. But you know,
very possibly.
We all make mistakes.
And that is also true. We have mentioned Mark Steffens multiple times tonight, the new Hounds coach, but I do want to mention that Nico Kotic is still around. The interim head coach from last year did a heck of a job almost digging the Hounds out of that 0-6-4 hole to start the season. So he's still on the sideline. Want to give him a mention.
Yeah, a big part of it.
Yes, and Josh Reif is the other assistant for Mark Steffens. Reif, who played for Steffens down in Charlotte and has been part of his staff.
That's a good ball.
Wow.
And there is a play
Benbow
to
got
the
some wheels.
far wing. Yes, it is Benbow running onto it, cutting back. Benbow working 1v1, chipped it toward the middle, and it's taken there by Okiyama, who was the last line of defense before you got to keeper Thompson. He knocked it out, but the Islanders are right on top of it again. It's Pfeffer, Zach Pfeffer, laying it off. Back for the cross into the box by Schaefer, but that's knocked away. Neil Schaefer, the old Riverhound, could not make it happen on that. Bit of a broken play, but still an opportunity for Harrisburg. Vincent overran it. And goal in the 52nd minute very early on in this half that made it 3-1 and has given the Hounds some cushion to work with.
Yeah, you got Arena there again, read that play really well and just stepped in front of the offensive player thinking he was going to get it, and he just read it and stole it, and that's where he creates so many great opportunities.
Well,
Here is Pfeffer looking for McLaughlin, dispossessed on the sideline by Green, but he gave it up. In the middle now, running with the ball, Jose Barrio. Barrio all the way over to, I believe that's Benbow on the far wing, and he could not make it happen. He forced it a bit, and Arena knocked it away. Here's Arena again, the Riverhounds number 3, with the ball about waist height. Drills it with the left foot, up and out. If you're watching tonight, live, free, and in high definition on YouTube. That's youtube.com/USL. And if you're accessing it on the Riverhounds new website, we thank you for that. Terrific looking design. Ian Thompson, the media manager, doing a great job getting that set up as it's crossed to the middle and off the leg of Okioma, and nearly some friendly fire, but Ryan Thompson able to pluck that ball out of the atmosphere.
That was a good miss kick, to be honest with you. Watch.
Yeah, they're really...
Look at that, right back to the keeper.
He actually kicked it off his own side. I don't see that
They're
too
really
often.
looking for Benbow on the right flank, so this Willie Hunt, who's just as you mentioned, signed this week, is right into the action here, because Benbow has the wheels up top to stretch defense, and
nice play by
making
Earls.
it difficult on us.
Earls couldn't step by, though, taking that short kick from keeper Nick Noble.
Here they are again on the right side, taking advantage of
Benbow, quick player, dropped it back. Here's Ekra playing a little bit deeper in the midfield in this latter stage of the second half. Yes, he did fire that one to no one in particular on the near sideline. And so it's Mike Green handling things for Pittsburgh. 76th minute, Hounds up by a deuce here at Highmark Stadium. It took until July for the Hounds to get their first home win last year, so this would be quite the departure from that trend if they can hang on and take the full 3 points away from Harrisburg.
No, it's a great way to start. It's so important to get that 3 points early and to get into the win column right away.
Oh yeah.
And you got another week. We got a week off before the next game, and
then you play at home
prepare,
again. So
get these new players in, and great stuff there from Robbie Vincent.
Yeah, look at Vincent turn that upfield in a
Great
hurry.
run.
Pass up for Kerr. He's got a chance coming in all alone.
Oh.
Played it away from the keeper. He's just going to feed it in, and he does the hat trick for Kevin Kerr, who fires the bow and arrow into the Steel Army back there. Tip your cap to Kevin Kerr.
Well, I think that got to put the nail in the coffin for the City Islanders. They're not hat trick for Kevin Kerr.
And Rob Vincent again, another assist. What a play in the midfield.
Oh, yeah, but I got to give Kevin Kerr some credit here. Look at this slow motion here, and he just takes another charge, calms it down, slots it.
What composure, huh?
Exactly. And that comes with the confidence from preseason and getting a goal earlier in the game, you know, a couple of goals. It's just, this is fantastic start.
You know, here's the thing. Vincent and Kerr play on opposite flanks, and they have connected with two of the different goals. So it's like you can see their mobility, and everything that they are doing has been fantastic.
And Maloto coming out, and I'm not surprised. He's been there, but he's not been there. You know what I mean, Gino? And I think it's
yes,
we can
all
only
this
see better things
from Vincent and Kerr, especially. Vincent, a goal and 2 assists, and Kevin Kerr, the big 3 spot tonight, striking in the 77th minute. And Paul, you mentioned Maloto off. Max Toulout, the Haitian native, is on for the Hounds. Played in the PDL last year, also indoor soccer with Missouri. And his collegiate play was with Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne, where he was a Horizon League all-league selection. So
Indiana
Toulout.
Purdue Fort Wayne.
Yes, IPFW for short. And don't ask me their nickname because I don't know it offhand.
Wonder how many more Indiana cities they can include in that school's name.
There's also Indiana, Purdue, Indianapolis. I know that as well. So Not sure what they're doing out there in the Hoosier State,
The
but
Hoosier State like those hyphens, you know. So.
apparently. Ball crossed through, and there is Talute with that high and tight haircut, a la the early 90s Vogue. Couldn't get to that one in time, and ball played out.
Actually, Dantes was unlucky there. He took a swing at this one, and he didn't quite catch it, and it went continuously on. If he'd have caught that, that was going to be on target as well. I just can see some good things coming from this guy if he continues this way.
It's just you know, fantastic evening for the season opener, and to be able to put 4 on the board here has to keep the coaching staff, the players, really happy and excited about going into the second week of the season.
And the owner.
Garrett,
and the owner.
Definitely. Tuffy Schallenberger, let's say hello to him.
Richard Nightingale.
They're going to be... they might be buying drinks all night. You never know. We'll get down there.
Stop on down if you're wandering around. Garrett Pettis could not play that to the front on that right side, right flank.
I hope they're
just
buying
a
hot
moment
chocolates,
ago.
you know?
Hot chocolate. Yeah,
Maybe there was something in it too. The Riverhounds were
great ball again.
Kerr. Maybe
looking for Kerr, and he does have it. Kevin Kerr again, maybe a chance for a fourth, and that one drills the Harrisburg makes me sick sign up there over the top of the Steel Army, so you got to give them credit for creativity using that Mr. Yuck sticker you see at doctor's offices. But the Hounds last year, just looking down the list, they only scored 4 goals one time all season.
Yeah.
So this is a real bonanza for the Hounds, who scored 35 last year. That was right middle of the pack in USL, but they never really had an eruption outside of a 5-2 win at Real Salt Lake Reserves July 25th. So they didn't do it here at home. They never got past 3 here at home.
No, it's like I said, a great way to start it off, and it shows you the firepower that Mark Steffens has brought in for this team. Vincent and Kerr have done all the damage.
Yeah, really.
So Kerr, the Scotsman, it's his night, although we mentioned Vincent as well, factoring in on 3 of the Hounds' 4 goals. 2 in the first, 2 in the second.
It's a United Kingdom.
It truly is this evening. As here are the Islanders trying to make something happen. It's Pettis looking to flick it with that outside of the right foot, but couldn't get it by the Riverhounds defense, and now one of the Hounds is down just at the edge of the Pittsburgh penalty area in the 82nd minute.
Yeah, number 9 was a late tackle on by Pettis.
Pettis a bit frustrated. He gave up the ball perhaps, and that is Hunt, Willie Hunt, down on the ground.
I've
the
seen Pettis a
27-year-old.
couple of times too, Matt. He's been going in a little
He came
bit
down
late
pretty
on.
hard on that knee.
Yeah.
On that one.
He's getting.
Pettis.
He's definitely not happy.
But he's
I
up.
didn't see a card though come out. I don't believe.
I did not see one either.
And a substitution for the City Islanders. It is Brett Jankowskis into the contest. Did not catch who came off, but Coach Bill Betcher making a change as we tick toward the 83rd minute. Field area, that is Baril giving it away, and fouled from behind, Vinny Dantas of Pittsburgh. Shane Johnson got the foot in there, illegal tackle.
I think Pfeffer came off for Harrisburg.
I believe you're right. I'm looking for his green shoes out there, and I don't see him, so that does add up. So Pfeffer off. Here's Vincent looking to shoot one, and he missed the right post by a couple of feet.
Nice idea. I mean, you've got the wind with you. If you've got a good shot like Vince, he's hit some great shots from outside that penalty area, 30 yards, 25 yards. With this wind factor as well, you've got to get on the end of it and scoring a goal. You've got some confidence.
So the Hounds trying to add on. Why not with a 4-1 advantage? Kerr looking like he has salted this one away with that hat-trick goal. But here's a good ball to the...
Willie Hunt totally caught ball watch on that time. He was he did not see anything on his outside shoulder, and
it was Benbow getting behind him.
And Benbow was right behind him.
And that shot was going wide, but Arena just taking care of it in case. I suppose that there was an Islander on the the back post. Here's Kerr getting an opportunity, and he drills this one.
He brought his
wide
shooting
left.
boots tonight, Paul, huh?
Oh, yeah,
Kerr,
he's just going to wind up and hit him any chance he gets.
He's getting some opportunities. I'd like to see his shot count.
Anthony Vergara coming on for Matt for the Hounds.
Vergara, who was a late season addition last year, Pittsburgh native, one of 2 on this club. Nick Kolarek, another Pittsburgher, not dressed today, but Vergara, and I'll say it again, another member of the Marshall Thundering Herd alumni crew comes into the game, and Earls takes a much-deserved seat on the bench with about 5 minutes to go in this one.
I do have to agree with you. Danny Earls is almost unrecognizable with his,
hair,
little haircut. Yeah.
Well, he had the hair short late last season. That was a jarring sight when he did it. So I guess he's starting fresh this year, and he's going to grow it out maybe during the course of the year. If you ever wanted long hair, it would be a night like tonight, I would think, though. Keep you warm as Touloute couldn't control. Thompson coming out for the Hounds. And
I've been wanting long hair for about 20 years. You know?
So still working on that one, I guess. But Jose Barril in the midfield. 86th minute of action. Now Pittsburgh up 4-1 and looking for all the world to be on its way to taking the first leg of the Keystone Derby this year. Look out, here's Pettis stepping away from pressure, tripped, and that will be a penalty kick as given by Charles Murphy, the referee. So it will be Pettis.
I'm shocked.
He's calling that on Okiyama.
That's a real poor call. I mean, the referee's standing right behind, and if we see it, you're going to see shoulder to shoulder, and the same thing that happened at the other end where Maloto, look, this is
doesn't look like there's much there on the contact, hip to hip, and
shoulder to shoulder.
Pettis goes down
as opposed to
and Pettis will take the spot kick. So Thompson does not have a clean sheet, but he can make it look pretty good with a save here. He's only given up 1 to Pfeffer. So here is Pettis shooting, and he puts it right down the middle, and he scores for Harrisburg.
Boy.
4-2 is your tally now.
Yep.
Thompson predicting that Pettis was going to shoot with that right foot across his body. Did not happen, as he essentially just bunted that one up the middle, and it happens when you guess.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, a goalkeeper, and Gene will tell you this, that's difficult. You just got to try and anticipate where you think it's going to go. If you move a little bit too soon, that's when you get the keeper's already gone. He can't get his momentum and change direction,
So a tough call goes against Pittsburgh, and it leads to a goal for Garrett Pettis, who had 3 last year, as I mentioned. He adds 1 here in the opener. Harrisburg just playing for pride at this point, though, with about 3 minutes remaining in regulation time, and we'll see about the stoppage. But Rob Vincent will have who has 3 goals on the evening. Kerr digging his way into the corner, going right to the flag, and the ball ends up skidding out, and it will be handed over to the Islanders, as judged by the assistant referee on the far side, Catherine Nesbitt. Here is Jankowskis fresh into the game. Harrisburg's number 12.
Well stolen by Robbie
Vincent takes it away, and a foul is called here, and a quick restart. And they can't restart it from there. They have to go to the spot, or at least close to it. And so the Islanders trying to get away with one there. Again, didn't see much on that. We'll take a look at that replay. Thought it was a clean dispossession, but maybe the toes clicking together. And Vincent, of course, as you saw from his reaction, did not agree with that call. So Hounds doubling up. Harrisburg at the moment. Tracking back for this one is Ryan Thompson, the Pittsburgh keeper.
Yeah, he's going to take some time off the clock right now, which goalkeepers usually do in the 88th minute. Matt, and as you can see, taking his time and going to knock it really deep. Nice little ball.
Thompson hoping to be on the field for the Reggae Boys coming up in a couple of days as the FIFA International window is open. Tyler Pasher, you don't see him on the field tonight. He's with the Canadian national team. He's an Ontario native and a wing-back that you'll undoubtedly scope out in action this year at Highmark Stadium. Another new signing for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, very fast player, young guy, gets down the line a lot, and is very good at crossing the ball, can create some great chances for the Hounds.
He was up in the attack quite a bit in the preseason. And so handling the ball now, Nick Noble, as the keepers play catch a bit. Noble lofts one up into that breeze, and it's off the skull. It's Kevin Kerr with the ball at his feet, intercepting an attempted clearance. Kerr will have the throw now as he ran into resistance from Neil Schaefer.
Yeah, it was going to take a quick one, but really this is where they've got to manage the game a little bit, Matt, and calm it down. Don't be too much of a rush to get to the goal. As you can see, there's 3 players around him, nowhere to go. He's doing really well, actually.
Falls down, and the throw will go to Harrisburg. Yes, it is the time when you run to the corner flag with a 4-2 advantage. Pettis, stumbling back, somehow kept that one in. But the Hounds content to manage this one, as Paul just told you. Matt Geica here with you, with Paul Child and Gene Klein's headed down to the field just briefly to talk to the man of the match. It will be Kevin Kerr, undoubtedly, on this evening.
You'd think so.
Usually when you score 3 goals, you get that distinction.
Yeah.
And I believe that's going to be the case this evening. 4 minutes of stoppage.
Boy.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from either, but we'll take it.
I was going to predict 2 or 3, but 4.
We'll take it and get another goal. What do you think, Matt?
I think that sounds like a capital idea. Anyway, while we have the time, I can remind you that you can follow the USL on Twitter at USL. Become a league insider as Toulouse traipses down the right side, has it giveaways, rather. That is at USL on Twitter. And you can follow the Pittsburgh Riverhounds at PGH Riverhounds.
And you can see there's a lot of blue shirts there, not many yellow shirts. We're not going to push up too far at this time and stage in the game. And there's a nice layback to Vincent, who's going to take it on and have a crack.
Vincent shoots and he
sticks the ball in the
scores!
back of the net.
He took that loose ball and absolutely parried it into the top left corner. Paul Child called it. They go for that 4th goal. And say hello to Heaven Rob Vincent. What a howitzer from outside the penalty area.
I just got that feeling too, Matt. I saw him with the ball, and I've seen him do it a lot of times last year. He took that ball, and I thought, he's going to have a crack here. And as I said that, you could see he drilled that ball, and it just went wallop right in that top left-hand corner.
And that's one of those, as you can see on this replay, not a lot of spin on that. He caught that flush.
Yeah, that ball's not moving at all, and it dips down in, and what a great finish from Vincent. Now, who's going to be the player of the match?
Vincent has 2 and 2, yeah.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter who. It's a team game, and it's fantastic to see the boys getting off to a great start in this first game. 5
goals. That only happened once last year. This Riverhounds team wants to be on the attack as Pettis steps up, and I thought he put his arm up to corral that ball. Thompson slides out and takes it right off his foot. And I hope Ryan Thompson's okay, yes. Well, as he went into the fetal position to grab that.
I think he's got to feel good because he did make a mistake. He came out, and again, the wind factor, he thought he could get it, and it flipped over his head, and then he knew he had to make up for that mishandle.
The Riverhounds living good tonight, and boy, have they knocked down their opportunities when they've had them. And a couple of long-distance strikes, one from Kerr, one from Vincent here in this second half. About as pretty as you'll see at any level of soccer.
Oh, no, it's great to see it. And again, you know, it's all it can do is build confidence for the players that are scoring and the players around them.
Here's Dantas. He's looking to add on as he tries to get by. No call there as the Islanders give it up to Arena, stepping up nicely in the midfield. Arena has shown a good instinct in this game.
Yeah, he's been very solid in the back. For me, the best player in the back of the park. He just reads the game so well and makes calls. He's talking to the players all the time. But all the back 4 have done very, very well.
We'll call that goal from Vincent coming at 90+2 here in stoppage. And a beautiful drive from the man from Liverpool. Here's Kerr. Sending it along the pitch to Dantas. He goes across and just a little bit away from the searching Max Toulouse.
Yeah, Max didn't really see what was going on there. He was waiting to see what kind of a pass it was, and if he'd have made a run to the near post, he'd have probably got on the end of it. But Harrisburg back on the ball again now.
And It is Jason Plumhoff, another substitution, one that sneaked onto the field away from our purview. He was a PDL All-League player last year, so Plumhoff, a promising prospect for Harrisburg, getting some action late. And here is Plumhoff trying to get by both Okioma and look to be Michael Green. Final whistle, and what a night! The opener here on March 28th, 2015. It's the Hounds 5 and the Harrisburg City Islanders with 2. Not too much to complain about, especially in that second half. The Hounds outscoring Harrisburg 3-1 after halftime. Terrific start, Paul Child, and an excellent finish too.
Oh no, what a fantastic start to the season. Just what the team was looking for and Mark was looking for, and just the organization. I think they've got to feel real good about themselves. They played very, very well. I think they came out the second half, Matt, and did exactly what Mark wanted them to, keep that pressure on for most of the second half, maybe 35 minutes of the second half. And I mean, the second goal for Harrisburg was really questionable. I didn't think it was really a penalty, but the referee saw it that way. But what a great start.
It really is. And for Pittsburgh, which went all the way until June 7th last year before getting its first win, it was a 10-game winless. Talk about that anymore. Don't have to worry about it. You have the first victory, and definitely the earliest victory ever here at Highmark Stadium in a given season. This is the third year on the south side, 16th overall for this Riverhounds franchise that has really found a home here at Highmark. Gene Klein's down on the field. I believe he's going to want to talk to both Rob Vincent and Kevin Kerr, so we'll toss it down to him as soon as he can secure the interviews. But you look at it up and down for Pittsburgh, a comprehensive win, and Harrisburg unable to handle it. Looks like it's going to be a tandem interview actually down there with Gene.
It should be, because these two guys really put a great effort together today, and what a turnout.
Here with the two men of the match, Kevin Kerr and Robbie Vincent. 3 goals, Kevin Kerr, for you. 2 goals and assists, Rob. Kev, what was the keys to the game tonight?
Just taking our chances, to be fair. We come out flying. First 15 minutes looked really good, and we capitalised. When we were playing well, we scored, and when we weren't playing well, we defended and dug in. So it was a good night.
Robbie, a lot of changes for the club in the off season, but it's 2 returnees who did some damage against the City Islanders. How does that feel, and what's that connection between the two of you?
Well, I mean, it's been good. We've had a very difficult off season, with the changes and stuff. But once the guys came in, the returning guys and the new guys, we've all gelled really well. And that tonight, I think, is just kind of the start of it. There was patches of really good stuff, patches of stuff to work on. So I think there's a lot to look forward to this year.
Great strike there at the end of the game to put the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to score, So at that point in the game, it's kind of like you can hit it. It doesn't matter if it goes 40 yards over the bar, but luckily it went in. So I'm happy with that.
Great win tonight for the season opener. Kevin Kerr, Rob Vincent, men of the match. Thanks. Have a great evening.
That was Gene Klein and Paul Child. A good night at the old field here. Steel Army still celebrating down to our right, and they have good reason too. And a great point by Gene Klein. A lot of changes in the offseason, but 2 guys who return from last year's club, and actually with Rob Vincent, his 3rd year, Kevin Kerr the same. So guys in different roles, although the same talents, but put in different spots and really excelling tonight.
Yeah, really hooking up well and making things happen. And you could see right there, I mean, we saw a great goal there from Kerr, and there he goes again. And the confidence and composure right there, Matt, he just holds it up, gets it on his best foot, right foot. I thought he was going to away.
Yeah, a lot of guys, I think, in that spot on that 3rd goal that he had may have panicked, but he did not. And there is that the call we were talking about that led to the final goal for Harrisburg. But I mentioned the first leg of the Keystone Derby goes to Pittsburgh here on its home field. And we'll be right back here on youtube.com/USL next Saturday, 7 o'clock start. Another regional rival, the Rochester Rhinos, come into town, a part of this opening stretch of 4 out of their first 5 at home for the Hounds. So I guess mission accomplished for tonight, and step 1 out of 4 as far as establishing a real home field advantage here.
Oh yeah, really, Matt. And next week's going to be a tough game again. Rochester, a real a rivalry for Pittsburgh, and always come down and make it very, very difficult to play against, kind of like we thought Harrisburg would. But obviously,